So you're a social worker, social care professional looking for a business idea, side hustle, or additional source of income. You may have years of experience supporting people, solving complex problems, delivering services, and working within communities, but perhaps you've never really stopped to consider how those skills could be used to create something of your own. In this video, I'm sharing 7 ethical business ideas for social workers and social care professionals. And these are ways of using your knowledge, your skills, and experience responsibly to create something useful. Because I will also tell you how to join my free business masterclass for social workers who want support in developing their idea. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lisa Ann Edwards. I've got 26 years experience in safeguarding, and I'm a safeguarding consultant, trainer, leadership coach, speaker, and the founder of the Social Work Coaching Hub and the Black and Diverse Safeguarding Conference and Awards, a national platform here in the UK. Now, I have used my professional experience to create coaching services, training, resources, events, communities, and professional platforms. All of that is in the description below. But I didn't begin by creating everything at once, and each idea began by noticing a need. That is what I would like to help you consider today. So, here are 7 ethical business ideas for social workers and social care professionals. Let's get into this. Idea number 1 is training. Now, you already have specialist knowledge, whether it's safeguarding, whether it's leadership, whether it's supervision, whether it's trauma-informed practice, court skills, domestic abuse, anti-racist practice, workforce well-being, or another area of social care. All of that knowledge could potentially be training, workshops, or webinars for professionals and organizations. However, you know the subject, whatever form that you know that subject, being able to deliver effective training is not the same thing. Yes, you can develop what you know into training, but being able to deliver it is not necessarily the same thing. You do need to understand who the training is going to be for, what they're going to learn, what they're going to take away from the training. And you need to be honest about your experiences and remain within your professional competence. So you have to think about not what training can I sell. The starting point is, what do people genuinely need help understanding or doing better? Idea number 2 is professional resources and tools. So it might be templates, it might be digital guides, it might be a planner, whatever it may be. You need to think about resources that you regularly wish existed. What would make a particular task clearer or easier? Like, what could help a student understand a particular area of practice? Like, it should help a particular type of person. Doesn't have to be social workers. It could be accountants. It could be lawyers. It could be potters, right? It doesn't matter. But what type of resource do you feel is going to be most helpful for that group of people? Now, don't mistake it for thinking you need lots of pages. Like, the value isn't in how many pages it contains. The value is in how useful the resource that you create could be. Idea number 3, mentoring, consulting, right? You develop strong skills such as listening, questioning, reflecting, helping people identify their next steps, doing crisis intervention. Like, all of those skills are transferable, and you could support a myriad of different groups in order to help them, right? What you do need to understand, though, is that coaching, mentoring, supervision, therapy, all of those modalities, they're not the same and they're not interchangeable. So you will need to choose one. You need to be clear about your offer, what you are qualified to provide, and where the boundaries sit with those modalities. Now, maybe you need to do more training. Completely in your hands. You make that decision as to what kind of service you want to provide and what the qualifications are, but you need to think about who you're going to serve. Idea number 4, consultancy. We always talk about consultancy. I've just mentioned it, but in a deeper fashion, organizations, sometimes they need specialist knowledge that they don't hold internally. Sometimes people don't even trust the internal processes, but you coming in as an external person who is able to offer consultancy, offers quality assurance, or offers policy development, offers learning reviews or equity and inclusion development. All of that falls under consultancy, which is not just advice. It's actually an organization bringing you in to help them understand the problem that's happening in their organization and make a decision to improve something, and you're part of that decision making. So you need to be able to explain as a consultant what areas you're going to address when you go into their organization, what the process is, what your processes are, and what they will receive as a result of them working specifically with you. Now, you don't have to be an expert in every area of social care, and it depends, what type of consultant you want to be. But a clear specialist area would help you and will be more valuable than trying to offer everything to everyone. Idea number 5. You can have professional communities, you can have events. Doesn't matter who it is, that the client group could be males over 50 living in Blackpool, right? But you can create those kinds of spaces, right? And it's up to you what the space is for. It's up to you what you fill it with. It's up to you how you do it. But your ability to communicate with a variety of ages and stages of development through your social work career, you are able to create space for people to feel safe, right? And you're able to do that by developing a community or communication style organization to help build relationships. The idea should simply respond to a clear need rather than simply creating another space for people to join. Idea number 6, one more after this. Content speaking or education. Like, you may be able to use platforms like this platform to actually share what you know and to educate others, right? And that could be about understanding social work or understanding policy or any other specialist subject that you're proficient in. And those content ideas can lead to different opportunities as well, such as consultancy, such as training, such as educational resources that we talked about earlier. But this is not about gaining followers. It's actually about you providing value, and you being able to demonstrate why people should return to you. So when we think about that in the social work context, you must maintain confidentiality, for example. You must maintain the professional values and boundaries. You must maintain the code of conduct. So your content can be based on your knowledge and ideas, but you have got to be able to make that professional decision about boundaries and values. Idea number 7, especially service. So you might be really proficient, for example, in domestic abuse cases, and it might be a specific type of abuse that you have expertise in and have offered deep level support in. For example, I've worked in a domestic abuse refuge, and so when I became a child protection social worker, I had a large percentage of my cases that were linked to DV because I had knowledge, had experience, and I had skill in that area. So it may be that that's something you get training in, but it also may be something that you already have, already know, already doing, that you can develop into a program, into a project, into a specialist agency, or into a consultancy, as we mentioned before. Now, all of this can be meaningful work, but it usually requires a little bit more planning than just like registering an organization. You do need to consider who it's going to be for, what the service is going to be what the services that you're going to provide, and what are the safeguarding arrangements, obviously, how it's going to be sustainable. There's loads of questions that do need answers, but it is possible to do all of those things. So, for example, I mentioned my Black and Diverse Safeguarding Conference and Awards. That is a community interest company. It's a community interest company. It didn't start that way, but now it is, right? So you need clarity about the best deliverable for the service that you are going to use. Now, things come down to these type of questions like, what idea should you choose? which is going to work best for me. And you can't just choose an idea simply because someone online says it can make money, because someone online says, I need help with this. Like, you really need to think about the overlap between these four things. Like, what are you skilled in? What do you genuinely care about? What people or organizations actually need? What can you realistically do? Because you're still working full time. This isn't a plan for you to become a full time entrepreneur tomorrow, right? So what can you develop with the capacity that you currently have and the resources that you have? The right starting point may not be the biggest idea. It can be a small idea that actually grows over time. I started my business 10 years ago as a private coaching practice, part-time in the evenings, that graduated to more clients, which I then had to coach during my lunch times, not every day of the week, but during my lunch times. And then that's turned into me now being self-employed full-time. I coach, I train, I host events, I offer speaking engagements, right? So the right starting point can be something that is small, can be something that is part-time, but you still need to have the time and the capacity, the energy, and sometimes the money if you're investing to be able to even run that part-time. So you need to be honest with yourself. Choose a problem, choose an audience, and begin exploring the solution. Now, I just want to tack this on when we talk about side hustles. I know a lot of people do talk about side hustles. Oh, I didn't know you were putting comments in the chat. I'm so sorry. I'll come back to you. When we talk about side hustles, I know that many people will find this video because they might be searching for side hustles for social workers or ways to make extra money within social care. It might be outside social care. That's fine. Nothing wrong with wanting additional income. You have valuable knowledge, and that knowledge can be used in many different ways, but your professional responsibilities, your social work values, the code of conduct, it doesn't disappear because an activity outside of the workplace is happening. You still need to think about conflicts of interest, those boundaries, your employment agreement, safeguarding, insurance, like all of these things are important and part of the conversation. So don't abandon what you are doing currently as your full-time social work job simply because you want to do something outside, whether that is social work related or not. So let's be clear, a good idea, which you may have, doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be something that people are going to take to. So you have to plan it properly. What will you provide? Who will you provide it for? Like, what support do they really need? Like, these are the questions that help turn the broad idea into something people can understand and that you can communicate. This is before the logo, before the website, before social media, because we're so saturated with social media, we've lost really the starting points of building something properly. So that's exactly why I created the free Build Your Frontline Business Masterclass. If you click the link in my bio, click the link in the description, you can join. It's absolutely free, and it's for social workers who want to explore, seriously want to explore how their knowledge and skills could become a useful resource, service, program, project, you name it. It could be that you're searching for a social work business idea, choosing between several ideas at the early stage of your business. You may already have a business, but you need clarity on the next step. The bottom line is you don't need a website. You don't need a business plan right now. What you need is to be able to settle on that final idea. And in order to get there, you need clarity. And the masterclass is designed to help you begin exploring what you could create and really what the next steps need to be. Because this is the common denominator when I ask social workers, like, what's holding them up? It's not having the clarity. It's fear of judgment. It's not knowing what to do next and not knowing the how. So if this resonates with you, click the link in the description, click the link in my bio. If you're watching me on TikTok, click the link in the bio and join the masterclass. I'm obviously not going to attempt to develop your whole business idea in this video, but a list of ideas, as I've put in this video, can provide that inspiration, but it cannot tell you which idea is right for your experience, your values, your circumstances, your skills, and your knowledge. That requires deeper thought. And that conversation we will begin in the masterclass. So join us. It's free. It's online. It's going to be a small group of us, so don't wait to register. Just register now. It takes 2 minutes, and the registration link is in the description below, or if you're on TikTok, please click the link in the bio. Let me answer some questions just before I come back to close this video. Thank you for the well done, Aisha. Thank you so much. How long did it take from part-time to full-time? Good question. So I started my business, as I said, 10 years ago as a private coaching practice, and I went full-time on the business January 2023. So I'd say it was about 7 years. What I will say is this, for about, I would say 4 of those years, possibly 5, I was exhausted, burnt out, got promotions, and had no intention of being full-time self-employed. All of that was in tandem between all of those 7 years. When I first started, it was just part-time, and then it just gradually moved forward. But the reason why I'm full-time now is namely because I was in a position where the organization didn't want me to advocate for myself. They didn't want someone that could speak up for themselves. And by 2023, I was over a decade in my experience. I've got 26 years in safeguarding in total. I was like, I am too long in the tooth. I'm a competent worker, a good worker, a great manager, which I was managing a team of 10 at the time. I don't deserve to be treated like this. And I decided that I was going to take a step back. And it, simply because of that, why I ended up full-time. Otherwise, I probably would have accepted the permanent role that I was offered in that workplace, and I'd still be, QA in court assessments as we speak. So it came about by accident, if I'm being totally honest. It wasn't the plan to be a full-time coach or full-time trainer. But for it to turn around and be full-time, if we're being really specific, I only gave myself 6 weeks worth of money. Just 6 weeks worth of money. So when I left in January, I gave myself 6 weeks. And that's where I developed the Social Work Coaching Hub, increased my client group, created events, planners, podcasts, and have basically what we now call the Social Work Coaching Hub, which has all of these things within it. We have social workers in there who access our online platform, which has over 100 resources, you name it. That's what I've created in order to maintain self-employment. Hopefully that answers your questions. Any other questions before I go? So, does anyone here have a business idea? Does anyone here have a business idea? You could be a foster carer, you could be a parent, everybody is welcome here. The idea doesn't have to be social care related, but you may already have your business idea, and you may have actually way more than you realize, but that idea may be hidden inside of you, maybe hidden inside of you remaining stuck, you not wanting to be seen, you having that fear of failure, you continuing to say, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start at the perfect time, right? All of these things are valid and they exist. And my invitation to you today is for you to really think about, what do I need to take it to the next step? You don't need to create an organization tomorrow. You don't need to rush, but you do need to decide to take the next step to actually explore how your experience, your skills and your knowledge could actually become something that's ethical, useful and sustainable for a group of people. Whether that group of people is, as I said, men over 50 living in Blackpool, or whether it's women who are between 20 and 25, in London. Doesn't matter who the client group is. You just need to decide to take the next step to actually explore how your experience could become something more. So that's why I'm inviting you to the free Build Your Frontline Business Masterclass, using the link in the bio if you're on TikTok and the link in the description if you're on YouTube. And I want you to leave me a comment and tell me which of the 7 ideas that I've shared with you actually stood out most. Which one do you feel like, yeah, you know what, that sounds like me. Please follow me, click follow, Please share the videos, subscribe, because we're going to talk more about social work, social care business, professional growth, building ethical opportunities from your own experience, from your own knowledge, right? Because your knowledge, it has value. Your knowledge can help someone in need. The next step is deciding that you are going to take action on your idea and learning how through the free masterclass. If you again tap the link in the bio or tap the link in the description, learning how to actually shape that idea clearly and responsibly. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your business ideas. I can see tech-based. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I'll see you all soon. I'll be back with another video.